Hey guys, welcome back to the Craft of Living. Thanks for stopping by and checking out these updates on the markets. It's been a little minute. Things have been a little bit crazy. Just in production mode for the holidays. Trying not to overwhelm myself with setting up too many markets. I think I took one whole month off to create more $10 items because that's what people were really wanting, what I kept hearing people wanting that was in their budget. So I made some baby sharks. I made them in gray. I made them in tiger print. I made them in yellow, of course, and pink, I think, and that's it. I made a lot of those. I think I made like 20, something like that. Of those $10 items, including the little baby leggy frogs, which I call Frodo. I call these guys Frodo. I mean, I make them a little bit different, and I don't remember the designer's name, but she's really awesome. But I make them actually backwards and inside out, which I feel like is a testament to my personality. But I really think they look extra cute with their like ET eyes. Also reminds me of another character that's not coming to mind right now, but they just look so goofy, and I love how the arms turn out. And anyways, these really sell great for $10 at the market, and they're just simple and cute with their little grumpy faces. Sometimes they're smiling, but I like the grumpy one because I'm grumpy very often, so it cheers me up and reminds me to be smiling and happy. But yes, again, thank you. If you're new here, I talk anything about anything that's inspiring. So how you're crafting your life, and I do tarot card unboxings. Sometimes I'll do tarot readings, and right now we're doing crochet markets. It's something new that I decided I wanted to craft and create in my life. So I'm giving you these little updates on this. So I kind of left off at the second market, and I believe I updated you a little bit with a short on the fifth market. So the second market I did back at the college again, and that did okay. It was probably a very slow day, which honestly I found very discouraging. I think I may have only, after booth fee and taxes, I may have walked away with $80. And while that is a victory, and while I need to be grateful for everything, I was a bit bummed after all of that work and preparation. There just wasn't anybody wanting to buy any big ticket items. So I found that kind of discouraging, but I kept my chin up and I prevailed on to my next market, which was in another town. I thought I'd try a different town. And this town was in a beautiful botanical garden, and I thought that it was going to get some good traffic. I heard it was going to get good traffic. I've seen it getting good traffic. It's about a 45-minute drive away, so I didn't go over there on the day prior, which is probably a big mistake. You really need to go and check out these markets before you sign up for them, so you know what your demographic is. Are they there just for the food trucks? Are they there just to window shop? Are they there to actually make some purchases? But when I set up there, it was such a beautiful venue. They do weddings there. The garden was gorgeous, but there was very little traffic. Despite that, I was still able to make one sale out of all the sales I've ever done that was over $40. So it was one of my snugglers. My snugglers go for $55. There's just a lot of attachments. You have to make the feet, then you have to make the legs, then you have to sew them together, then you need to sew that on, then you make the body, and you make the wings, and then you have to sew the wings on, and the head is actually attached to the body, but you have to make the beak. You crochet the you crochet the crest on, and you also crochet the tail on. which makes it a little easier. But there's just a lot of work that goes into it, and when I calculate it out, it comes to around that. But I made the first one. She locked eyes on it and said, okay, I'm getting this. I said, excellent. I was so excited. Will that be cash or card? So that was like my first big sale that I made. Super excited about that. And so that market was okay. I think I walked away with like $75 after booth fee, which is like $50 or $40 for that market. And as opposed to all the other markets I normally do, is a $55 booth fee, which is low, by the way, for where I'm at. And yeah, so that one, it was beautiful. I got to set up next to this gorgeous, huge Buddha. I was so stoked about that. But I made friends with my other vendor that was close to me, and I asked them their opinion, and I said, how many times have you been to this one? And they were like, we go to this one a lot, and it's dead here. This one is not happening. And I just really appreciated how straightforward they were with me. He's like, you want me to tell you numbers? I can tell you numbers. But right now, they've got big plans for this place, but not a lot's happening. So I really appreciated that, because it helped me determine where I was going to do my next market. And it wasn't going to be there just yet. I kind of want to wait until they get more of a flow. It's a long drive. It's far away. I probably spend more money in gas plus the booth fee. I'm really not making out much. And like I said, there really wasn't much foot traffic there. A lot of other vendors. I talked to the other vendors too. And quite frankly, this person there that sold jewelry and some other thing, crystals, seemed very depressed. Not all of them. I met another jewelry maker, and they seemed very excited and happy and hopeful and grateful for the site. So I just love to see both perspectives. You know, I like to be real, you know, not sugarcoating things. I really want to know what's the bottom line. So that one wasn't really worth my time as of yet, but I liked that I established myself in there, and they saw my wares and what I sold. And now if they ever get busy, I can say that I've gone there and I've done a show there before. So I mean, I contemplated not going at all, because I had a feeling it was going to be slow. And I was like, oh, it's going to be slow. And you know, that mind barking dog that's not helpful at all was like, oh, don't go. You're not going to sell anything. It's going to be a waste of time. It's a lot of work for a little payoff. And I was like, you know what? What am I going to experience if I don't go? What is there for me to gain if I don't go? That I could stay home and make a couple more plushies? No, that's not what we're here for. We're here to experience it. We're here to see it, feel the ropes, network, talk to people, you know, see how it's done. And so I decided to go, and I'm glad that I did, because like I said, I got that experience now. And the other vendor that was laying it to me straight, that said, this is not the best market right now, maybe someday in the future, but we've been at this market for about a year and it's been nothing. They are actually successful vendors. They travel inter-island to Oahu to do more of their shows. So I know that that's their full-time gig, you know, and they had a family that came with them and everything. And so I know that it's doable, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that you can definitely make things work. You just gotta you gotta do a lot of footwork. But they still went, they had it down, and so did I, and I'm very proud of myself for that. And as for the last market that I just did, I did it at my normal college market that I've been doing, simply because of the ease of that one. Everything's already done for that. I know what to expect. It's my demographic. People are there locally and tourists, which is what I want. I want both local and tourists combined. And it being the Christmas season, which I've never done there before, it was quite busy. And I think total I made $270, but after taxes and my booth fee, I think I walked away with $130. So The majority of the purchases were the $10 items. I had a couple or a few $15 items from the chicks that I make. Little chicks, they're about this big. And I had a rush at 11 o'clock, which is kind of fun because I've never had a rush before where everybody's waiting in line. So that was really cool. And then, let's see, yeah, one of my biggest sellers that everybody wanted that I didn't have enough of were my hats. And I don't really have a finished one. This one's not finished. I have to put my little label on it over here. But, you know, the little beanies, of course, because it's Christmas and they're probably going to fly back to cold areas. So they wanted to buy the hats the most. And I think I sold my last baby hat that I had. They weren't too interested in the newborns or toddlers, mostly baby and adults. So I only had one adult there and it went so fast. They didn't even hesitate. And I sell these guys for $45, which I think is very reasonable for how long it takes me. It's 45 stitches across for each row for 81 rows all the way around. So it takes me, if I calculate that on a calculator, technically it should take me 2.5 hours, but I'm never able to sit and crochet. I don't know, my forearm gets very tired. I start experiencing pain, even though I'm pausing every 30 minutes to do my stretching, you know, and do the wrist thingies. It's still quite challenging. So realistically, it takes me about a day and a half to make one adult beanie, as I have right here in the process of being slip stitched up, and then I'll close the top, and then there you have your little slouch beanie there. So yeah, that was my best seller, I would say, on that day, and that was exciting. I had so many people come in and want to buy things, and I just loved it. It's just, I mean, that's the best part of it, right? Is when you get feedback and when you get people there, even fellow crocheters commenting on your work, telling you, you know, this is really good job, nice choice of fabric, nice choice of yarn, you have really good craftsmanship. You know, I really love hearing that positive reinforcement. It's what makes me want to come back and keep doing it again and again. Aside from that, you also, if you're going to follow this path, have to do a lot of social media stuff, which if you know me at all, I know, and I'm on YouTube, but even YouTube took a while for me to get past my resistance. But having to make Instagram posts of when I'm going to do the market. I even had a sale. My sale was buy $50 or more, receive $10 off. So I have these big octopus that are $50. And that's because yarn is so expensive for me. It's like $25 for one skein. Crazy. And one octopus takes $25 worth, just about. So he is priced at $50. So with that deal, that Christmas deal, it would have been $40, which I think is a great deal. But nobody took it, not one bite. And I had a lot of people interested in my little tree sprites, or mushroom men, as a lot of people call them. Lot of interest. But when they saw the tag, they were like, no, sister, no, thank you. And, you know, it's discouraging a little bit, like, oh man, should I drop my prices? What would be a price that they would buy it for? Would they buy it for $35? But I do the math, and you know, the amount of yarn that I use, and especially these different colors, right? It's 3 different colors at least. You have this one, the taupe, and the cream. And you know, if they're like $23 to $25 for each skein, and it takes me one whole skein plus a partial of another one, plus my time, you know, plus the little stuff, it does come out to around 60 something. And if I want it to be sustainable with all the other costs of like my website and insurance fees and booth fees, I need to charge that extra 30%. That's a typical markup value. So with that 30%, they come out to $70. Now, I've looked at these guys online on Etsy, And there's a lot of cute ones out there, but when I look at the ones that are closest to mine, they're $99 with free shipping. And I'm like, oh my God, 70 bucks is a great deal, you know, compared to $99. So I was a little bit discouraged that nobody wanted to purchase them at all, because they're one of my favorite things to make. And I do actually make them quicker than the hats. Maybe it's the passion, and it's not so monotonous, right? Because this is just row after row of the same thing, whereas this one, you know, you're making arms and you're making collars and hats and you're attaching it. But yeah, so to remedy that, I decided I would give my hand at placing it on Etsy. So that's why you see the for sale sign, because he's gonna be for sale. This guy in taupe and the other guy I have in terracotta rose. Those guys I put for sale on my Etsy account with shipping. Also in that is free shipping included in the price. So that's nice. And it's a little bit cheaper than the $99 ones. But yeah, so trying something different with this venue, because gosh, I mean, he's so adorable, and you're not just getting like a factory made toy, you're getting a novelty item where every single stitch is made with love. So there's a lot of mana, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of ki, pranayama. I mean, there's so many names for energy, right? But there's a lot of good positive vibes in this guy that you just can't buy off of a machine. And whether people really are conscious of it or not, they can feel it when an item holds more weight than just a factory kind of dead feeling, right? It has a feeling to it of being loved. And so I'm gonna stick to that and still value my work. So yeah, I decided to place it on Etsy. And I think the hardest part has been working through my own resistance. I don't want to create an Etsy posting. I don't know how to get up the pictures. I don't know how to upload a video. My resolution is too low. How do I fix it? You know, even though they make things really easy, I just have a lot of internal resistance that kind of makes it challenging, most likely more challenging than it needs to be. But that is how those markets went. That is my next game plan. I will leave the link in the description below for my Etsy account if you know anybody that might like to buy this as a Christmas gift, though I can't guarantee it's going to get there by Christmas, because we're down to the wire now, guys. It's almost Christmas time. But yeah, if you know anybody, I will give the link and you could share it. Because why not, right? We're a community. And then I have 2 other pop-up shops. I've never done a pop-up shop before. This is going to be at a local spa that I also work at, and I've never done that. So I'm working with a way smaller space. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'll only be able to pick out certain select items, of which I will include my tree sprites or mushroom boys, whichever you want to prefer to call it, and a few other choice pieces. Now, to all you crocheters out there, problem number 1, have you ever gotten done with the toy only to have the eye pop out? It's a safety eye. How is it popping out? It's supposed to be safe. Does anybody else ever encounter this issue? If so, what do you do to fix it or change it? How in the heck do you get back in there? I mean, I feel bad for this little guy. I had to do extensive surgery on him. He needed it. I found out that it was a faulty back on one of his eyes and he needed repair. So, I mean, I kind of just got in there, and you know, I may need to sew him up a little bit. I don't think you can really tell anything, but I fixed it. So now, you know, I always do this test where you shouldn't hear any pops, right? You shouldn't hear any clicks. You should be able to pull somewhat gently and have it really stick in there. So he's fixed, he's good, he's 100%, you know, fine, as long as you're not having like someone gnawing on his eyes. He's gonna be all right. Besides, these aren't really meant to be handled rough. right? They're handcrafted things. So, but I just wanted to know, what do you guys do when that happens? Do you throw the whole toy away? Do you cut? What do you do? I just want to know different techniques, because like I said, I just had to like manhandle him and get in between the stitches. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below what your tricks and techniques are on that. And then also I wanted to ask all you other crocheters out there, have you ever used this yarn, Juicy Couture? I don't know if it's showing it backwards, but it is so plush. I'm making another hat, and it was gonna be for myself, but now I'm not so sure. I don't know if I'll like it because it's kind of short and I want it to be longer. But it's really fun, and I just want to know your experience in Juicy Couture, if you like it, if it's the same deal as you to the velvet yarn, or is it different? Does it feel fatter and plusher to you? And then lastly, I'll just show you one of my new additions to my inventory, which is mulling. Mulling and Pew Pew. These are little cartoons on Netflix. I don't know what their origin is, like what country they originate from, but they definitely are on the side of extra kawaii, which I'm all about. And he came out really cute, is my point. So I already made Pew Pew a while ago. He just goes under like a little chick. This is a free pattern. I think I've listed in my other videos below. And I even improved on it a little bit with the magic ring, because the original designer did not include the magic ring, and I work a lot easier with the magic ring. And then this also was a free pattern on Pinterest, and he came out super cute. I think I had a little learning curve with his W mouth here, but all things considering, I think it turned out really great. This cute little tail there. This is like a little pudgy bunny. He's so cute and chubby. Anyways, I think this video has gone on long enough. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for stopping in. Let me know any comments you have about anything in the in the box below. And then thanks for stopping by, and until next time, cheers.